Hey Bulldog fans, welcome into this week's edition of the Samford Sports Wrap-Up presented by Alabama Power. I'm John McAfee. Happy again to be joined by women's basketball head coach Carley Kuhns. Carley, I always appreciate you stopping by.
Likewise, glad to be here.
Well, you just recently wrapped up the non-conference schedule. Let's talk about the last couple of weeks because you lost 4 games that were originally on your schedule, and you actually took to Twitter pretty much an open invitation to say, hey, we need some more games if anyone wants to play. You threw 2 together on pretty short notice. Just tell us a little bit about how those 2 games came about.
Yeah, we were pretty fortunate that early on there was teams that were losing games, and we were kind of hoping that it wasn't going to happen to us, but also prepared that it was likely that we would lose games. We just wanted our team to have the ability to play, and it was going to be against anyone, which is why we scheduled Power Fives anyways, because we just wanted to play games. And so when we got those games canceled, we immediately went to scramble mode, and I feel like I called every coach I knew, my staff called everyone they knew, just for anyone looking for games. And initially we didn't hear anything back, so I posted on Twitter. I'm like, we don't want to play. Once just to get some more games under our belt to prepare for conference play and just work out some kinks that we're still trying to figure out with us not having Tay anymore, and just getting working through all of that. So luckily we had 2 pretty local teams reach out and say yeah they would be happy to come play us, and really thankful for Huntsville and Birmingham Southern for coming over and playing against us, because it was they didn't have to do that, and we're really fortunate to have had some games and some home games too, which we didn't have very many of them. So.
Yeah, the Birmingham Southern game was something that we don't see a game like that very often. A lot of program records fell, and maybe more importantly, you got really everyone involved, and we saw a couple girls get their first collegiate buckets in that game.
Yeah, I was really happy for our team, and multiple kids got to step up and shine that don't necessarily get the opportunity to do that. I think one of my assistants on the bench said, I bet I'll never be a part of a game where this many points is scored in a women's game. It was kind of crazy. I was more stressed after that game than you would think, because I sat back wondering what is going on right now. And they just kept pressing us, and so we kept, which was good for us to get sped up and, share the ball, find open shooters, score in transition a little bit, play fast. It was kind of a conditioning game for my kids. They'd come out to timeouts and they were like, dying, and like, yeah, we don't get up on the floor usually this fast. But it was really exciting to see some of those kids who haven't gotten it, Jaden scoring her first college points, Katie Jones scoring her first college points, Audra having a career high. It was exciting to see different kids have the ability to step up and have a chance to shine.
Well, again, that wrapped up non-conference play. What have you seen out of your team? What have you learned about your team over these first 2 months?
I think I've learned that we are fighters, and that we are figuring out ways to continue to come together in times of adversity. And we've had some unfortunate things happen this season, with injuries, with sickness, games being canceled, different roles changing. And I think this team comes every day genuinely looking to get better and come together and figure out ways to win. And we've talked a lot about that. We've got to continue to do that over the course of this conference season. And right now it's not about wins and losses. It's about competing, and it's about showing up, and it's about being focused, executing our game plan, and just continuing to get better over the course of this, early conference play into February.
Conference play starts tomorrow. You got a tough task right off the bat. Mercer coming to the Pete Hanna Center, and they did have a down year last year, but historically they've been one of those top teams in the SoCon. Tell us a little bit about the Mercer Bears.
Yeah, I think they're an extremely talented team, especially offensively. You'll see it tomorrow. They can hit shots at a rate of no other college team I've ever seen. And so I think it's a great test for us, and I'm glad we're opening with them so we can figure out exactly where we're at in this conference, and what we need to work on. What will expose us, what we're going to be great at. They're going to get up and pressure us, and so our ability to play through being fouled, play through being denied, figure out how to honestly be a tough team, and I think we'll get a really good gauge of exactly where we're at with all of that tomorrow.
Then after Mercer, the rest of the SoCon schedule format has changed this year. You're going to see every team twice in a 3-day span at the same location. Mercer's the exception, being your travel partner. But when you look at the new format, what are your thoughts on that? It's got to present some interesting challenges.
Yeah, it's going to be different. I'm thankful that we're playing. And, originally I was a little bit leery of it, but now I do think it's going to give us an opportunity to play more games, and hopefully lose less games through tracing and whatever that may look like. But we're definitely a team that likes to scheme and likes to try to mix things up and change things up from game to game, and so it's gonna be an interesting game prep week to try and mix things up for a team back to back, and it will help in terms of preparation that we only have one team to focus on. We don't have to sprinkle in some other scouting from a Saturday game, maybe on Wednesday, Thursday. And so I do think it'll allow us to really hone in and focus on one team. And on the flip side, it'll allow teams to really hone in and focus on us. So just, being able to be adaptable, but I'm just thrilled for the opportunity that we're getting to play and hopefully play a full schedule.
Carly, appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Hope to see you tomorrow.
Bulldogs in action here at Pete Hanna Center, 2 p.m. tomorrow against the Mercer Bears. That'll do it for this edition of the Samford Sports Wrap-Up presented by Alabama Power.